Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to discuss the brand new Master Palette by Mario. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to discuss the brand new Master Palette by Mario by Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you have been with me for any length of time, you know this. If you are new, then I will tell you, Anastasia Beverly Hills are my favorite eyeshadows, period. I like them better than MAC. I even like them better than Viseart, which says a lot because I really do like Viseart. I even like them a smidge better than Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek are cheaper and definitely an amazing alternative, but just personally, I like the Anastasia ones better. So I pretty much jump on anything eyeshadow related that she and the company launch. I like their other products, like their brow products are fine. Their foundation is good. I did a review on that. But the eyeshadows are what can't be beat, in my opinion. So when I heard that this was going to launch in October, like months ago on Instagram, I marked my calendar. Yes, I marked my calendar because I was so excited about this palette. So it has 12 shades in it, where just for comparison, the Modern Renaissance has 16 shades. We've all seen this, and obviously because it has more shades, the Modern Renaissance is going to be longer, but other than that, they're very similar. So it does have a mixture of mattes and shimmers, but I will say that it has way more shimmers than it does matte. In fact, it only has 3 true matte shades. This one up in the corner, Claudia, is a matte slash satin, but it's definitely not completely matte. So I would say these 3 right here are the only 100% pure matte shades. It is not an all-inclusive palette, in my opinion. I will tell you why. In order for you to be an all-inclusive palette for me, you have to have some kind of matte cream shade or something that I can set my primer with, and I prefer for you to have a little bit of a darker shade than the darkest matte in here, which is Violetta right here. I prefer there to be either a black or a very, very dark brown that has a pretty much neutral undertone, which that, in my opinion, does not have a neutral undertone. We'll get to that. I will say before I go into any kind of detail on this that I have put up a blog post related to this where I have done swatches with my finger as well as swatches with a brush so you can compare. And that's going to bring me to my first point about this palette. The shimmer shades, so this pretty much this whole top row right here and then the last 3 on the bottom are amazing, okay? And I will say they're amazing because you will see, with the exception of this one right here, in my swatches, if you go to my blog, my finger swatches versus my brush swatches, they're no different. And rarely do you find a shadow, even a shimmer shadow, that you can say that about, to where the finger swatch is going to be the same amount of pigmentation as when you're using a brush. Most of the time the finger swatch will be more, sometimes twice as more. So I will say that is absolutely amazing with this. In fact, this last shade, Claudia, this like navy kind of shade, I felt that the brush swatch looked better than the finger swatch, which has never, I want to say, has never happened with an eyeshadow with me. This one right here is pretty much the only one out of the palette that I was completely disappointed with. It's Hollywood and it's kind of a yellowy shimmer satin. It doesn't have any like actual sparkle in it, but the pigmentation on that I just couldn't get to come off to be what I wanted or what I hoped for in that shadow. So that's the only one that I can say I'm like extremely disappointed with. But I will say that not any shades in here that to me are like truly original. And I get that there are eyeshadow palettes that are launching every week, it seems, and there are only so many colors in the universe that you can come up with to put in a palette. I get that. I totally understand that. But I don't even feel like they're too original within the Anastasia line. For instance, I think this Isabel color is not dupeable per se, but she does have a lot of other matte orange based shadows. For instance, Matte Burnt Orange is very close to this shade. You know, if you mix Matte Burnt Orange with Caramel, I think you pretty much get this shade. I do love it, however. I mean, I think it's amazing that you're going to put a matte orange Even the Real Gar, it's much darker, but it's still a matte orange. The Lula shade looks very, it looks very neutral and brown. It's not going to focus. I think it is now. It looks very neutral and brown in the pan. However, it actually pulls like more of a gray undertone. So I feel like you could get, you know, Stone from ABH, Dusty Rose, Buon Fresco. All of those have the same kind of undertone. They're not exactly alike by any means, but it's the same type of tone. Paris right here down in the bottom, and I will get to swatches of these, but Paris down here in the bottom is an exact, and I mean exact dupe for Topaz, which is available in the single shade and is also in the Amrezi palette if you have that from when it was launched quite a while ago. So I say all this to say that it's just not 100% original, but it's still beautiful, okay? So I'm going to, real quickly, I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch all of them for you. I'm gonna start with this top row, and I'm just gonna do these top three. So again, I don't even know if that's showing up on camera. This is the Hollywood up here that I said that I was pretty disappointed in. Then we've got, I did this out of order really. This is NYC right here, which is like this plum satin shimmer shade. And then we've got Kim right here, which you can only assume is named after Kim Kardashian since Mario is her makeup artist. But it's kind of orangey, bronzy, shimmer satin shade. So then we're going to go to the top row, last three. So right here, this is such a beautiful color. It's called Muse. And then right here we have Marina, which is actually what I have on my lid today. And then right here is that navy color called Claudia. You see the shimmer shadows, they pick up so nicely in the light. Now starting at the bottom row, left to right, these three matte colors. So starting down here we have Lula, which is that, looks more brown in the pan, but it actually comes off gray with a little bit of a purple cool undertone. Then we've got the Isabel, which is the orange color. And then right here we have Violetta, which actually looks straight up brown and almost a little warm in the pan. But to me, when swatched, it comes off very plum. And then finally, the last three bottom row to the right. So right here we have Fifth Avenue, which is a very nice shimmery gold color. We have Bronx, which is the olive color in the palette. And then Paris. Now Paris is the one that I think is a complete dead-on dupe for Topaz. So if you already have that color, this will be the exact same thing. So I did use quite a few of these on my eyes today. I used Lula, which is this color right here. I used that in my crease. I felt like I had to build it up a little bit more than normal to get the solid pigmentation in my crease that I wanted to. Then I went in with Marina right here on the lid. I did not use a base. I had a primer on, like I always do, but normally I put some kind of shimmer base underneath my lid color. I did not do that today because I wanted to see how that translated on the lid. I will say I started using the Sigma E54 medium shader brush, and I ended up going in with my Dona Lace 941 brush, and I felt like this actually applied a better pigmentation of that color. And then I took Violetta on a Sigma E25 brush, and I put that on my outer corner. Again, Violetta looks very warm to me in the pan. However, it does pull plum, cool toned on the eyes and in a swatch, in my opinion. I also did not film it, but I used Violetta under my lash line, and I mixed Lula and Isabel, these two colors right here, to buff that out. And then I also used Fifth Avenue on my inner corner and brow bone. So I feel like I got a good use out of this palette. I am excited to use Muse and New York City, these two colors right here, because I feel like they're absolutely beautiful and I don't quite have anything like them in my collection. So I am happy to have that. They are very similar, if not the exact formulation of the Modern Renaissance, which in my opinion is a little bit different than her singles. They're just a tad more pigmented, but they do also have more fallout. So just keep that in mind. I would suggest doing your eyes first when using this palette as well as the Modern Renaissance palette so that the cleanup is easier. So all in all, I think this is a beautiful palette. I do not find that it's all inclusive. You will need to use probably other colors with it. I don't find that you probably don't have any of these colors, except maybe the Claudia. You know, not everybody has an olive color. I do, but I have an extensive collection. If you don't have some of these colors, I think it's a great palette. I think the formula is on point. If you do have some of these colors, if you are a fan of ABH and already have quite a few of her singles as well as other palettes, I just don't think that it's absolutely necessary. If you're a collector of ABH like me, get it. Get it, girl. Get it. Because it's still wonderful. Pigmentation's there. The formula's there. They're still very beautiful colors. I am not sad that I bought it, and I will use it quite a bit. So hopefully this review helped you somewhat in deciding whether or not you're going to purchase this palette. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my blog post. I will link everything down below so that you can see, again, how these swatch on the fingers as well as with a brush. And I will also list all of my final thoughts in that blog post as well. As always, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are awesome. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, have a very blessed day.